All right, so we're live, gentlemen.
We're going live?
Yeah, we live now.
Like live, like we're doing the live.
Oh my God,
I thought we said we weren't doing this anymore. That's what I'm asking you.
not like live,
Okay,
bro.
you know why I'm asking that then.
Man, Jesus Christ, you make me, boy.
Make you what?
You ever heard of something called a homicide?
Just give me the cue, bro. Give me the cue.
Give you what cue? Real lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's so good to be back with one of my favorite buds and a good friend of the show. As a matter of fact, I think one of our first episodes we ever did of Fresh and Fit way back, like in the COVID days, was with Benny, but it was with remote. You had a really dope background that I remember.
I was in my basement.
Yeah. So it's good to have you on the show in person, man.
Yes,
it's good to have you here in the flesh.
Very professional.
Yes, thanks, Benny, for coming.
Yeah.
well oil ship.
Thank you, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We got all this equipment. We don't know exactly what we doing.
In this really
but
tiny hot room.
Hey, but we doing it.
We are.
We doing it, okay? This episode 3 of season 2, and it's here.
Yeah.
We here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this thing cracking, man. Benny, you know, me and Benny go way back. Benny was the buffest dude I ever seen in the polo.
I can see that.
By far. He was at Best Buy.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Benny used
20
to
plus years ago.
20 plus years. Benny was just so strong, I just couldn't believe he was still a teenager.
That's not a teenager.
You was like 19?
Nah,
Yeah, you
I
was.
started at Best Buy when I was 21.
Okay, but
I worked there from when I was 21 till I was 24.
man, bro, but you was a peer though. Like I felt
But
like
I left college football at Akron. So
Okay.
I left a college football training program and went straight to bed, moved back home and got a job at Best Buy.
it just was like, I'm like, this is the buffest man I ever seen. Like, this is the buff kid, man. It's ridiculous. But I knew you from high school because you like, what, 99?
97.
97. Okay. But I knew you from
Best
high
to ever do
school.
it.
97 was a good class, though.
No, the best to ever do it.
Okay, so what did you guys do in football?
We went 5-5 in football.
Okay, so that's not the best to ever do.
So maybe we
First
should
team to
we
beat Shaw in 12 years.
should we
Okay.
clarify you guys went to the
hadn't
same
beat
high
Shaw.
school?
Wait, they hadn't beat Shaw since the 80s.
Okay.
We beat Shaw.
Okay.
That's like if Ohio State hadn't beat Michigan in 12 years. Their first team that beat Michigan.
Okay.
Now, our girls won state in track.
Okay.
Our boys basketball team won state.
Okay.
We was the
So,
best.
see, I was good, but y'all wasn't the best though. I think
Wait, we had a 5-5 football team with 5 Division I scholarships. It wasn't us.
Yeah.
We didn't have no coaching. It wasn't us.
yeah,
We was the best ever.
99 though. That's Tim Starks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were not better than us in
That's
anything.
LEL champs,
They weren't better than us in anything.
but they won LEL.
They were not. Okay, so let me tell you why that happened.
So they might not have
No,
been
let me tell
better,
you why
but they
that
got
happened.
they got better as they got older.
Let me tell
I
you
feel
why
like.
that happened. We went 0-10 my sophomore year. They fired the coach, and those coaches weren't great. And then they brought in new coaches our junior year. The coaches they brought in flat out told us they were working on a 4-year rebuild.
Yeah.
They didn't focus on us at all. We had players on our team that were all LEL at one position as when we were sophomores, and they moved these people to different positions. Kenny Dobbs, who played cornerback at Bowling Green, was an all LEL corner as a sophomore. They only let him play wide receiver.
Wow.
So it wasn't, trust me, it wasn't us. The talent was there. It wasn't us. They were focused on Tim Starks' class.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why when you focus on something, with any goal in life, what
Sure.
you give the attention to is what's going to prosper. They didn't give us the attention. They gave them the attention. We was just a speed bump in the way.
Hey, two state titles for one school in 1 year is hard to compete against.
A public school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you and you guys cross overlap years at Heights?
No.
No, you came in here after I left.
No, 2 years I think, a couple years.
Your freshman year was 99?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm old.
And you just did football,
I did
James?
football, yeah.
Not just, but you know what I mean.
No, that's just. I was a two-sport athlete.
I did football and I did track.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what else did you do besides football? Oh, track.
Yeah, I just did track. 'Cause track was fun.
I say.
That's how I got in. I actually was a baseball player, and then in like 8th grade, young women start developing, and track shorts are really small.
And track bodies.
I put my back ball down.
Track bodies is top.
I put my back ball down, and
Yeah.
now I'm running track.
I don't know about you guys in the Heights, but I went to a Cleveland public school, and nobody on the track team ever got cut because you were always begging people to come out.
No,
they
but
don't cut.
they don't cut you. But Coach Holland will make you throw up and make you reconsider.
Oh, yeah.
He'll make
yeah.
people quit.
He's
He's
a legend.
Yeah, but
We knew him in the city.
There's no set. Like in football, you only got 1 through 99 jerseys. In basketball, you can only put so many people on the bench. Track, they be like, whoever can fit on the bus
Yeah.
can be on the track team.
Yeah, you got an F? Okay, well, I need you to run this 100.
Everybody wanted to run
figure
the
it
100.
out.
You couldn't get nobody to run the 400. That's what
Let me tell you,
I need you to run this 4x4.
I
No,
thought
I'm
the
good,
four.
coach.
We used to argue with 800 runners. I was a 400 runner, and we used to say the 400 was the hardest sprint until I ran the 8 one time.
Yeah.
That's the
because
hardest
800
sprint.
in high school is considered a middle distance. When you get to college, the 800 is considered a sprint.
Yeah, well, even now, even when I was in high school, the 800 is a sprint.
Yeah, we call
there's no
1,
pacing.
2, 4 was considered the sprints. 8, 4, 800 mile was mid distance, and then the 2 mile was, and of course cross country.
I'm reminiscing a bit now. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, because you know what? I was listening to my boy Bedros Coolio. I don't know if you guys hip. Ben, you're a gym owner, so I'm quite sure that you probably hip to him. He started Fit Body Boot Camp.
Oh yeah.
Bedros, Bedros has his own like YouTube, and very cool dude, man. I like how he tells his story. And one of the things he says, you don't want to be one of those remember when guys. Do not be one of those remember when. I remember when this. He said, and you never want to peak. I do not like guys who always bring up to me like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're shooting the shit. We're just talking about, you know what I'm saying, old stuff. But guys who always bring up to me their past, bro, I'll be like,
that's
bro,
all they have to
that's all they
stand
have.
on.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit. Like my guy, let it go, man. It's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you, like basically his philosophy is that you should never peak. There is no peak. You know what I'm saying? You just basically go, and there's always a new height. There's always a new level. There's something new that you should be acquiring or trying to reach. So that's the key thing. I think that I'm on point with that. I really support that
Now,
methodology.
it's very successful people out there, and we'll take things that they say. That don't mean they necessarily make sense. Life is always going to be peaks and valleys. You will always, so wherever you peak at, then you find the next thing to peak at.
Exactly. So I think
but
he's
there'll
not,
always be valleys in between.
Yeah,
because if you're not willing to take that step back sometimes to learn something, so to never peak.
Yeah, he's saying basically like if I'm not doing a good job, then he's basically saying like you're never like you should never say like, oh, this is the best me. This is the best.
Okay.
Yeah, like this
That
is
I
the
can
best.
There is no
understand.
best version.
There's
of
no best
me.
version of me
There's
yet.
just
Yeah.
recreated versions of me,
Yes.
which is where your peaks and valleys.
Correct. So
Come
it's
in.
not like it's like so you should basically saying like you should never peak. Like you should never be like, okay, this is the best I can do. It's not.
gotcha.
You always can go harder, go higher. Like you know what I'm saying.
I think that works in business.
Yeah, I think because when it comes to like
As an athlete, that's
physical
impossible.
achievement, I think with different chapters in your life, whatever your peak is all relative. Like
all
in your 20s, right? When you're
That's why I say it's a good catchphrase.
you run a 40-meter dash.
You'll never
know,
be as fast as you were when you were 25.
ever, but you might do your best you ever did in your 40s at lifting a certain amount of weight than you did in your 20s, even if
Because
it's not.
strength lasts longer than speed.
Yeah,
And that's what I was saying. Like, you may have peaked in football in college. That was your highest point of football.
Right.
But then you found something else to grow into. You know what I mean? So that's why I say it sounds good, but then you'll have people out here chasing. And what happens is, as you go through life, sometimes we find that things that we're good at may not necessarily be our calling. So if you're constantly chasing greatness forever at the thing that's not your calling, because you're good at it, you're not willing to take a step back to try something else that may actually be your calling that will make you great.
yeah.
You know, so, you know, he was blessed to do what he did, be great at it, get well known for it, and be successful. You may have somebody such as myself that made a career change at 40 years old. Now, I got to an executive level in corporate America with just a high school diploma, and while I was in that position, eventually earned an associate's degree just because I told my mother I would graduate college, so I went and did that. And I gave it all up and went right back to the bottom to start a new career in the world of fitness. So I peaked. That was the best I'd be in a corporate setting because I chose a different path where just because you're there at that level at one thing, you may have to take 2-3 steps back, roll back down the mountain a little bit. And if you tell people that, then that's where people will say, I'm not okay with stepping back, or they don't know how to handle stepping back. There's going to be peaks and valleys and everything.
Yeah, and I think for those of us who are like intrinsically motivated and who are able to receive that type of information, like for me, I understand it a certain way. Like it's like, okay, I understand what he's saying, and you understand what he's saying because, like you said, you left corporate America because you realized that was your ceiling. It was a glass ceiling, but you realized that was your ceiling. You're like, okay, so this is not going to work for me because I aspire to do more. So in essence, you didn't peak. You was like, yo, this is all y'all can see me as. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna start here, but I know that my ceiling is much higher. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to the next level here, and I think that's amazing that you took that step. Like it's very similar to like my path too. I think that's why we get along, because I think you and I both have good business minds and we just can relate on certain things, and we also are like just, you know what I'm saying, heist boys tend to like,
we do it different.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Ben, like, so speaking about your journey, what prompted you, okay, besides the glass ceiling, what gave you the confidence to be able to say, hey, I'm gonna take this chance and go out on my own and do my own thing? What gave you that confidence?
So I do want to clarify one thing. I didn't leave because of a glass ceiling. I left because it wasn't my calling. I hadn't. That's what I'm saying. I never peaked. That's just the highest I achieved because I chose to leave.
Okay.
I wasn't being constrained in my career or growth. I was actually, other growth opportunities were coming, but I wasn't happy with what I was doing. It made me a lot of money, but I got up every day in a state of depression and didn't want to be where I was at. So my change was because of my own goals in life, finding my purpose in life and doing the things that made me happy in life. But what the deciding factor was for me in making that decision, I had a conversation with you. We sat at your old gym, and I asked you about, I won't say everything you told me that day. I asked you about, you know, how you made the decision to do it and how you were able to balance it, and, you know, just some of the advice that you could give to me in terms of making that decision. And then, because I was in Chicago at the time, I was working in corporate America, and my rent in Chicago, if anybody's...
You was coming back and forth like
well, that too, but if
yeah.
anybody's ever rented in Chicago, I had a 2-bedroom apartment, stupid expensive, and I still had a mortgage here in Cleveland. So I picked up a part-time job, personal training, and I started posting myself with my clients. And it had got to the point where the 2-3 hours a day that I was personal training was the best part of my day.
Yep.
I hated getting up and going to my day job. I loved going to train my clients after. And then people in Cleveland started hitting me up in my DM as I'm posting videos. Yo, Benny, I want you to train me. Benny, I want you to train me. Like, I live in Chicago. Now, I wish I would have had the foresight then that I ended up having now, because one of the most successful parts of my business now is my virtual training program.
Yeah.
I didn't have the foresight then. I could have started taking on clients virtually, and then I would have been ahead of the game when COVID hit and everybody had to do everything virtually. But I came home one weekend because I was driving home pretty much every weekend or every other weekend, and we had that conversation. And then it was probably 2 months later, and Phil Wheaton came up to Chicago and had a class, and I went and did his class, and then we went to dinner hanging out. And I asked him basically the same questions I asked you. I said, and this is coming off of the back of you and I's conversation, and I said to him, I'm really thinking about just moving back home and making that change. And he said, well, what you waiting on? I said, man, I make high
Get
six
money.
figures
Yeah, get
and
money.
I got this and I got that. And he looked at me deadpan and his expression did not change. And he was like, what you waiting on? And that really hit me. Like, the money wasn't the answer, especially when you're talking about your happiness and you're talking about depression and you're talking about, so the next day I posted all my furniture on Facebook Marketplace.
And was out.
2 weeks later, I packed up my car without a single client in Cleveland and just moved back home and just jumped with no parachute or safety net.
Yeah, I would tell people this too. Like, when it comes to fitness, you have to be careful. And anything you want to do, right? You got to be careful of the people that you see who do it on an average level or a subpar level. Because one of the reasons why I didn't want to become a trainer, because I kept seeing all these weak trainers out here. I mean, like, just being 100, like, they weren't in the best shape. They'd be smoking cigarettes in the car. Their cars be raggedy. They was just messing with all the clients. It just was whack. Like, I just seen them and I was like, yo, I'm like, I don't want to be a trainer. Like, that's whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, although I had a passion for working out, getting people in shape and stuff like that, I just didn't want to do it because I didn't see the good model. Now, during all this time, I'm not even thinking about my friend in LA at the time, Ron Everline, who was training. I think at that time he was training like Neo and like Trey Songz and a couple cats in there. So like I'm like, oh yeah. So I'm like, dang, I got a good representation, a good model right here. Right. So while he's doing that, we're doing our thing, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, yo, bro, like I got to figure this training thing out because I really want to do it, and I kind of want to, you know what I'm saying, tap into that. And when we tapped into that, I was able to just be like, yo, I can see that I can become successful with training. I didn't think I can be successful with training. Like, I didn't think people like made money, but I had a model. And I think that what you're saying is very key because most people don't take that step. Because even you, like, man, I got a 6-figure job. Phil probably was like, and you can make 6 figures. You can make 7 figures
easily.
Training, like, I hear what you're saying, but you can still get this bread, my boy. Don't even trip about that. And I think that exposure is key. And I think that like people need to realize like, oh, whatever you want to achieve, it is out there for you to take it, to go get it. If you believe that you can do it, you can do it. It takes time, and you're gonna bump your head. You're gonna make so many mistakes. You're gonna make so many failures. You're gonna make so many blunders. And when you first run it up, you're probably going to fumble that bag the first time. And it's okay. Just run it up again. I'm saying, run it up again.
And this is the thing that, I do public speaking, and one of the things I speak on is when my journey in starting your business and branding and marketing. And one of the things I highlight when telling my story is I repeat, do not do what I did. Have a plan, have a mentor, have a coach. Put all of these things in place before you decide to make that decision. Now, it didn't really hinder me because of the time and energy that I had put into building the 216 Muscle brand before I became a full-time health and wellness coach. Like you said, coming home every weekend, doing powerlifting competitions, doing CrossFit competitions, just putting myself fully invested into the fitness community and the people that I was around, like yourself and Bounty Tank and
But I also think that like
there was a community that.
But your work ethic separates you from a lot of people and a lot of things. So like I would tell people that too. Like so like even though you might have made some mistakes, you still kept plugging away though. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't want to have to break tackles because you missed the hole.
Yeah.
If the hole is there, get the rock and run through the hole. I don't want to have to run people over to get the touchdown because I didn't do the right play.
Well, so all I'm saying is, if
the coach draws the play up and the hole is there, because think about this. I worked my way up to an executive level in corporate America doing exactly what I do for my business.
Yeah.
And I ignored all of the things I would coach my employees to do.
Yep.
Have a smart plan.
Because you don't think about yourself in that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Set goals. Set deadlines. Okay, in Q1, this is what we should be accomplishing. In Q2, I did none of that with my business. So yeah, my work ethic, but the time and energy that I spent into working hard, I could have been much more efficient in building my business in the beginning.
True.
So, and you spoke on the whole, like, you felt like you weren't happy.
Oh,
like
I was in depression.
What was there a specific, like, moment or an event that was like, okay, this is it? Because even
the
with
Arnold
even
Classic, 2018.
I think that's where I met him at.
Yeah.
I was
That was the fun.
yeah,
That was
when
so
we
fun.
all came down there. So Marie MJ was the one told, yo, you should just come down, whatever. And I was talking to someone I was working with at the time with the brand, and she told me, you know, you should go. And I'm like, man, don't nobody know who I am, whatever. I'm gonna drive down there for what? She was like, you are a 255-pound black dude. She said, you're a walking billboard. Just put the shirt on, walk around, talk to people, introduce yourself, whatever. Two things happened that day. Day one, it was Friday. I'm walking around, and a gentleman recognized me, and he was like, yo, you 216 Muscle. And in my head, like a little kid, I'm just jumping up and down like, somebody knows who I am. So the stuff I've been doing on social media has been working.
It's working.
And he was like, can I take a picture with you, whatever. I'm like, yeah. You know, now I'm 6 years into the program, my marketing brain kicked on. I was like, yo, just make sure you tag me, post it, whatever. And that happened about 7 or 8 times that weekend. Now, the other thing that happened, well, actually 3 things happened that weekend. The other thing that happened that weekend, I ran in a bounty tank down there. That's the first time we met. Now, I followed him on social media. He didn't follow me. I'm like, yo, this dude don't know who I am, whatever. I was like, yo, Bounty Tank, what's up? You know, can I get a picture with you?
H2 in the building, you know.
And
I recruited them to Hampton, by the way. Shout out.
Is that for real?
For real, that's facts.
I had no clue of that.
I recruited them to Hampton, yeah.
But I saw him and I was like, yo, can I take a picture with you, whatever. And he said to me, he was like, yo, I seen your page, man. I like the stuff you're doing. Keep up the great work. And in my mind, I was like, well, you saw the page, but you ain't followed. But that's neither here nor there.
People
You know
be
what
so
I'm saying? People
stingy with
tell me
them
they like
follows.
what you're doing.
They be so
But then hit
stingy
the
with
likes and hit the follows, bro.
You know what I'm
But
saying? Thank you.
we took the picture. I posted it. He reposted it, and he did follow me that day. The third thing that happened, and this was actually before the conversation with James. This was what sparked the conversation I had with James, and then the conversation I had with Phil. At the Animal Pack cage, they had a weightlifting competition. How many times
you got all
you
them
can
reps.
rep your body weight?
Yeah. I remember
So
that.
at the time, I was 255.
I remember this.
I got on the bench and I hit the 255 24 times. People was cheering, whatever. But like right before I laid on the bench, all I heard was, "You better represent for Cleveland." And I looked up and it was Phil Wheaton. And Phil and I had never had a conversation. We worked out at the same gym. Used to be up at Severance. I used to see him. Used to see me. It was a head
Bally's?
nod. That was about when it was
Or was it World's Gym?
World's Gym.
At the time, okay.
I would see him. He would see me, which is a hit. We knew who each other was, but I had never had a conversation with him. Never met him. And he was like, "You better represent for Cleveland." So when I saw him, that's the first conversation we had. So now you're talking about
All this
being
energy.
recognized by
All
somebody
this energy.
publicly.
Yeah.
Meeting, meeting
Yeah.
Bounty Tank, somebody who had a huge following that
Sure.
I followed, meeting, actually having a conversation with Phil, with somebody who had a huge following. So that day is when the wheels started turning that led to the conversation that I had with James and eventually the conversation that I had with Phil. And honestly, if Phil wouldn't have come to the cage that day and hyped me up, we probably would have never had that conversation, because that's what prompted me to, when he was coming to Chicago to have that class, I'm like, yo, he was repping for me. I'm going to go to his class. I don't do cardio classes. That was never my thing.
Facts.
And it was horrible. Like, if you don't do cardio and you go do...
Ooh, them classes wear you out.
Listen.
They wear you out. Them calves be on fire.
And at the time, I was running 5 miles every morning. I'm thinking I'm in shape.
It's different type of shape.
No. So I literally went off the strength of the way he represented for me that day, that I went to his class, and that's what led to our conversation. So it was a, snowball effect. But that Arnold, March of 2018 was the deciding factor.
Yeah, and it's funny how that even comes about because it took you some encouraging to go.
Yeah.
And you don't even know on his side of things what if there was something pressing for him, like maybe he was on the fence about going or not. And then the same thing with Bounty. To me, it's like to see the whole bigger picture and how things come together.
It all works together.
All works together.
And then I think, like, remember that time, like, and it's like, you always still kind of getting used to me, too, because I was like...
Oh, and at the Arnold.
At the Arnold, yeah.
That was where
So, listen, the first time I met him was in a dark parking lot at the hotel.
Yeah.
At the hotel before the Arnold, because you was helping us get our room.
Yes.
So, look.
So, wait, you want to know how crazy that is?
Yeah.
Because I used my hotel points to get y'all the room.
Right.
So now, even with all the money I was making at the time, I had lost my job 3 times in 4 years leading up to landing that job. So I had burned through all my savings just living and supporting my family.
Yeah.
So I charged you half of what the room would have cost you to use my hotel points. That was my money to eat that weekend.
Oh.
I went down there with no money in my pocket. I just booked the room, and I was like, I'm going. Whatever it's going to be is going to be. And I feel like God had a way for me. Like, you booking that room for me was the money that I had
I got chills.
to eat with.
I got chills.
That weekend. Like, that's the type of faith I had jumped out on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now, and mind you, I was at a place in my life where my depression was so deep. My faith in God was gone.
Yep.
All that faith was completely
I think that's
in
the
me
first thing
at
the
the
devil.
time.
I think the first thing the devil try to do is try to make you just be like, oh, God don't exist.
Yeah, that faith in me was completely in me at that time. But thinking back on it now, as I was moving into my purpose, God was like, I'm gonna show you.
I'm gonna show you.
I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, that's
I'm
how you do.
it.
That's how you
and
do.
That's how it works.
That's how you do. That's so crazy. I mean, that's amazing, bro. I mean, thanks for sharing that story. I think it's so dope that we've kind of like had our lives like aligned, but not like we haven't just. You know what I'm saying? Like, but even
it was being put into
place, right? So, far as fitness now, what are you doing as far as your training? Because you look good. I know you had bulked up for at one point, and then now you all cut and stuff. What are you doing so different now, and what are you doing as far as your fitness?
Them damn cardio classes. I can't put weight back on now.
Okay.
So I teach extreme hip hop. I teach extreme burn. I'm still lifting, but honestly, the major thing is my nutrition changed.
Okay.
So
now you doing meal prep? You got cooking for you?
Actually, I do my meal prep.
You do your own meal prep? You cook your own stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, you a G for that?
Yeah.
You a G.
Honestly, man, the slow cooker is my best friend.
Okay.
I could take my protein.
Yeah, please walk us through it. Help me.
Bro, look, this is what you do. And people like, milk. Now, I'm not picky in terms of my proteins. I eat beef. I eat chicken.
Yes.
I eat turkey. I eat, seafood. Check this. I go to the grocery store or whatever, or I go to the meat market and find whatever protein is on sale.
Prime meats.
No, I go down to the.
Because Prime Meats be having all the meat.
Where's that at?
It sounds like 70 to St. Clair, something like that.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that is
Prime
it.
Meats,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll go there and I'll get whatever protein is on sale. So if I go to the grocery store or whatever, if I find turkey legs on sale, I'm buying turkey legs.
Okay.
If I find chicken breast on sale, I'm buying chicken breast. If I find ground chuck on sale, that's my protein for the week. But now my major thing is you was talking about the discipline. I can literally eat the same thing every day.
You a G.
3-4 times a day and not get tired of it. Now that's just who I am.
Yeah.
But what I do is I go buy 4 turkey legs, put them in the slow cooker, season them up, put some spinach, some green beans, and some potatoes in there. And leave. And just let it simmer for 7 hours. Come back, I let it go for 5 hours. Come back 5 hours later, add some black eyed peas and some kidney beans. And let it go for another 2 hours. And that's it. And then it's just, sometimes I'll add some salsa to it, or some chicken stock, or some beef broth, or something like that. I love taco seasoning. Taco seasoning is like the best seasoning you can put on any protein. And it don't take a lot of time. I'm not in the kitchen all day. I hard boil my eggs. I bake my bacon. So I do 4 pieces of turkey bacon and 2 hard boiled eggs for breakfast, and then I'll eat whatever I had in the slow cooker for my other 3 meals a day. Now I go by about the 80-20 rule, so I'll eat that Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Then on Saturday and Sunday, may go out to dinner
Sure.
and enjoy something. But even one of the things I've done with that is, it used to be, let me get 10 wings for the appetizer. Let me get that double burger with
Yeah,
bacon,
you just going
cheese,
ham. You ain't-
a side of fries, and then I'm going to get the fudge cake and the ice cream at the end.
Yes.
Now, I'll be like, let me get the burger. Let me get a single bacon cheeseburger and replace the fries with a salad. Or let me get 15 wings and replace the fries with a salad. Or so it's just
Those fries, boy.
So I'll still find ways
They be calling my name.
to indulge myself. So
Sweet
French
potato
fries,
fries. I like sweet potato fries.
French fries is my favorite.
I like
food.
regular French fries. I like
Regular-
waffle French fries.
But I don't
Sweet
care.
potatoes.
Look, y'all know how Forrest Gump was with that shrimp. That's pretty much how I am.
Okay.
How I am with a potato.
Okay.
However you want to make, you could saute it, you could twice bake it, you could French fry, whatever you want to do with a potato.
Is there a more versatile food on this planet than
No.
the potato?
Yes.
What? Maybe the egg. Maybe the egg.
Egg.
You can almost prepare an egg as many ways
Maybe,
as almost.
maybe,
Mess.
but
Almost.
the egg's flavor isn't as drastically different as the potatoes is. If you do
It's-
mashed potatoes, a baked potato,
Bro.
a French fry, you could boil it, you can bake it, you can season it differently. The
Now
egg,
you can bag up an egg, right? And you can make egg noodles. You don't never see nobody just walking down the street with a bag of egg noodles and an Arizona tea. But them Lay's, what you can do with
Oh,
chips.
yeah.
I mean, everything you can do with a potato.
True.
Potatoes
but the
is
egg
truth.
is not too far behind.
No, in versatility.
Yeah, in versatility.
But the egg goes in everything though. Like I feel like it's
You can
used to
almost
bake.
do it.
it's
What's the best form of? What's your best form of an egg?
So I like my eggs over hard.
But what's the best form of an egg?
What you mean though?
Like,
Think about this. It used to be a spot. It used to be
talking about
a
preference.
spot at Legacy Village called Granite City.
Yeah. Oh, it's a love. Fuck.
The
Man,
waffle nachos, the Granite City nachos.
I ain't never had that.
So instead of nacho chips, it was waffle fries.
Waffle fried chips.
You can't do that with an egg, bro. So there was nachos made out of waffle fries.
But you got an omelet.
The egg ain't got. It still ain't got that versatility.
Omelets though.
You gonna put an omelet above nachos?
But you get the omelet with home fries.
Man, let me tell you something. You ever had corned beef hash with the egg on top of the corned beef hash?
But see what you got to put
You
to
ever had
it.
pierogies?
The
Potato
egg.
pierogies with it too.
Okay, pretty much in any meal that you're making, the egg is Scottie Pippen. The potato is Jordan.
Okay.
You can just eat.
Okay.
The potato is the main part of the dish.
That's a fair
The egg
assessment.
the egg is a side dish.
I would also say that the potato transcends any time frame, any meal,
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
and brunch.
Oh, cause,
the egg,
Hash browns.
Hash brown. Oh, hash browns go
Come
so
on now.
hard, man. Hash browns go so
The cube breakfast potatoes.
Yeah.
The whole
With some
set.
onions and peppers in them.
Yeah, they do go
Come
hard.
on,
too.
man.
They do go hard too.
Come on, man. Give me the
You
potato.
right. You right.
I'm
Give
gonna
me
go
the
potato and I'm gonna go egg.
So like, have you guys? You know what I'm saying? I know you work out more. You doing your cardio thing. You like so. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's been
Pickleball. Oh, and pickleball.
Pickleball. You play pickleball?
Bro, 4-5 days a week.
Oh,
Where you playing at?
Lifetime.
Yeah, you know what? I don't
You
even
know
talk
what?
about-
Tell me, no. I think that's because that's one of the fastest growing sports
it is
right
growing
now.
like crazy, man.
Bro,
but
I burn
understand.
like 650 calories in an hour.
But it's
And it don't feel like it.
Are you playing singles or doubles?
Doubles.
doubles, yeah.
I started playing tennis this year.
See, pickleball.
Pickleball.
I'm gonna get into
Tennis
it.
court too big. That's a lot of running.
So what about? Have you guys seen the dude online who has like these high classes where he's like, you come, you smoke weed, you get high, and then you work out.
Nah.
Yeah,
I tried that once. It didn't go well.
yeah. So this dude, I guess, call him high. It's a couple jujitsu guys who do it too. They call them high
rollers.
High rollers.
Okay, good.
Where they get high, then they go do
Yeah.
jujitsu and they do their
Tumbling,
thing. Yeah. So like, I can't imagine that because I feel like it's two different extremes.
Between
So-
the jujitsu and doing,
And being high.
Being high.
I don't know. I mean,
some people they say
some
unlock.
speculation.
They say they get real creative. They get real
So,
creative.
but see what happened with me. I
Plus your-
did the 300 challenge. This was the 2019 300
The one you
challenge.
won?
No, the one I had to bow out. My right hip arthritis was flaring up so bad. and one of our boys gave me an edible.
Okay.
It took me out. I was floating. I couldn't
Lock back in.
I couldn't lock back in. Like I was floating.
Jeez.
So I can't, me personally, when I get high, I'm trying to come down.
Now I can get high and do a yoga class.
Because your body's relaxed, and I think you can take a level of pain that you couldn't tolerate.
Well, that's why
without.
I took it because the hip was acting, and I'm like,
For pain relief.
to dull the pain.
You probably forgot about that hip.
The hip didn't hurt, but I was so gone. Like I just
edibles is such a tricky bag.
They hit
man.
so different.
They hit so different. He
They
says,
hit so different.
I mean, so sometimes you can be floating on edibles, you can be a comedian on edibles, and sometimes you can be like handicapped. I remember one time. Remember that time I was stuck, and Chad had to come get me, and I'll never forget how he played me. It took him forever to come get me out my chair because I needed him just to help lift me up, and he would not do it.
I want to tell you the non-high version of this story. That's the high version.
because his experience
He
is
thought,
completely
right.
different than what happened.
Our time frames, even though it was the same on the clock, they looked very different.
Bruh,
So I showed up to the cigar shop, and mind you, it's standing room only. You can't even see the floor. And James is so buried in the thick of the crowd. He's like a little child in a grocery store who can't find his parent. He
Now,
doesn't-
was he sitting on the floor?
He was
I was
sitting in a chair.
I was sitting in a chair,
But
I
he
just
was
couldn't
just
get up.
Bonnie was on his
couldn't
own.
get up.
So I get into the cigar shop and I'm
People
trying to figure.
shaking hands, kissing babies. I'm like, nigga, brother, come.
You know how it is when people.
What's up, buddy?
Right.
What's up, buddy?
You gotta be
Yeah.
true to that too. But did I not come to your aid?
Bruh,
He wanted
I
me
did.
to. How much do you weigh, James?
240.
You weigh more than my allotted helping up. I have a limit. You're way above that
How the
limit.
job say, can you properly lift 75 pounds? That's my max.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I just needed just a little assistance, bro. That's all.
So how did you end up getting him out of there?
he eventually came and helped me up.
Came to his aid. You know,
And once I stood up, I was okay.
was good.
But whatever it was, the edible gave me so much anxiety, I couldn't get up out my seat.
Okay.
I couldn't get out my seat.
Also, I think that you took it maybe at the wrong time because there was too much going on.
And I think the combination of a cigar, maybe a shot of whiskey, then an edible at the same time, it was just too much.
It was
probably had that
sensory
popcorn.
overload.
Sensory overload.
Sensory overload.
Because you know what? I'll be very clean all week. I don't drink, don't smoke, nothing
Yeah.
all week. You know what I'm saying?
So then when it hit you,
so
it hit you.
it hit me totally different, man. But yeah, so I don't think I can do that high stuff. Like I'll be.
I had an experience once. We were on a party bus here in Cleveland, and I had an edible, and when I got picked up at the house, I had a little piece. Now
Was it a brownie?
it was a chocolate brownie.
Yeah, them be the ones.
Wait. It was the brownie, then a layer of chocolate chip cookie with a pretzel on top
Shut your mouth.
and a chocolate drizzle.
Wow.
Shut your mouth.
So there was no slow. You were just going down it. There was
So
no.
I didn't though. I just had a look like a pretzel sized piece. So if you think of the
Okay.
size of a pretzel, I had
Okay.
that one little square.
That's probably still 10 milligrams though.
But the thing you got to worry about with baked edibles is when you put it in the pot and
And
you
mix
start
it all
stirring.
up,
I think
yeah.
I just got that one piece where it was loaded.
It was loaded in that little
So,
corner.
but we drive downtown. It was probably about a 25-minute drive. I didn't really feel it. I said, well, let me get another piece.
Oh,
before we
see, you can't play them games. You cannot play
I was
them
a rookie.
games.
I didn't
Cannot
know.
play them games.
I said, let me get
I've
another piece before
played
we
that
get on
rookie
the
mistake
bus.
myself.
Cannot play them games.
We on the bus, and I'm sitting there, and I just started sweating profusely. And I felt like I had to think about breathing.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
we just breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had to, I had to think about breathing. And my dude, he looked at me, and he was just like, can we cuss on here?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
He just looked at me. He was like, "You are fucked up, ain't you?" And I said, "I think I'm about to die." My heart was pounding. It was the longest bus ride I ever had in my life. And then I was like, we were going down to Edgewater. I was like, cool. When everybody get off the bus, I could just sleep it off. They made everybody get off the bus. And it was hot as hell outside. So the heat now, I'm already feeling nauseous. The heat has hit me. And then it was amazing. Because they had water on the bus, but it was room temperature. I went to the little food stand at Edgewater and got an ice cold water. As soon as I drank that water, I was balanced back out.
Wow.
As soon as I drank that water, I was balanced back out.
Yeah.
But
I can't say the same story.
I had him take me to the crib, and I slept for 2 days.
Yeah.
I had to cancel my client because this was a Saturday. I got in bed probably about Saturday at 6 p.m. I didn't get out of my bed until Monday afternoon. I had to cancel my clients that day. I don't know what was in that, if that was just regular weed or what it was. I was jacked up for 2 days.
You get that.
You had too many milligrams.
You get that snucky ducky.
Yeah, it's probably about 20. You probably end up taking like 10, 15 milligrams, man. So it's just work. 216 Muscle. I remember you used to drop them muscle tees, tanks, all type of stuff, man. You represent
I still
your brand
got
right
it.
now.
216muscle.com.
You heard
Size matters, stamina wins, real lifters hit it raw. I lift weights. It's just work. 216muscle.com. It's on there.
Do you have a shirt for someone that is taking a break currently from all of the above?
No, because it's just work.
Okay.
But you did have the fit-ish shirts.
Yeah, we had those
I
too.
almost got sued over fitish.
How?
Because it said kind of fat, kind of fit. Somebody trademarked kind of fat, kind of fit.
Wow.
Yeah, and I swear I looked everything. It didn't come up. I always
It
do my
was
research.
probably another state.
It was it was in Cali.
Yeah.
But y'all want to talk about like the question you asked about how I knew certain stuff. That was a moment when I knew when something clicked. Like, oh, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, because you popping all
Somebody in California sent me a cease and desist letter because somebody in California had one of my shirts on.
Wow.
You know, all the way from Cleveland to California. Wow, that's bone, ain't it? Yeah, it is.
Yes, bone.
Cleveland to California with Tupac. But Cleveland to California, somebody had one of my shirts
Cleveland
on.
to LA. Heavy.
And they sent me a cease and desist letter. Let me know that what I was doing was working. But I swear I had did all the research. But kind of fat, kind of fit was trademarked. So I had to pull the finish. So I pulled all the pictures, everything off my social media with the finish. But I'm trying to find a way to relaunch it with a different tag underneath.
Kind of fit, kind of fat.
They had all variations of those.
God.
Yeah, they were smart in the way that they did it.
Yeah,
It was smart in the way they did it. I can't be mad at it.
Hey,
They did what they
but
was
listen,
supposed to do.
and to I mean, just everything that you've said kind of makes me just like the message that's kind of beating in my head right now. How important a brand is.
Yeah.
And like for the longest, I didn't know what your name was when we first met.
Because
216 Muscle.
Right. But so how many Just Train James.
Yeah.
When I was off Instagram, people were calling me No IG Chad.
Yep.
And so then when you finally came on IG, they still was calling you IG.
Yeah.
Should've been
Or
your
I've heard
IG name.
That should have been your
That should have
IG.
been your
name.
IG name. That's branding. That should have been your IG name.
I think it was already taken.
No, I don't know. I doubt it.
But it's so I just did a speech at the Leadership Experience Tour up in Detroit, Michigan last month on this. And that was literally the opening of my speech is I asked the crowd to pull out their phones and Google Benjamin Lewis. And I asked them, did my face come up for anybody? I said, y'all can scroll, take your time, see it. It was just a bunch of old white dudes. Benjamin Lewis. I said, now, Google 216 Muscle. And I am all you will see. Me with my clients, me with my apparel, me at my gym. I built a brand. And the thing that I've kind of adopted is, how to build a brand with just a phone in your hand. So I have an 8-week brand builder boot camp that covers social media, how you should post, when you should post. Stuff, for example, Just Train James.
That's not my name no more.
Well, this is the thing. Check this. Say what you just said into the mic. Say it into the mic.
That's not my name no more.
Think about this. And we were in Manchester, UK. I was speaking at
But unfortunately, that stuck though. Everybody still
So
call me
this
that.
check where I'm about to
Call
go.
me that.
I was speaking at Step Cello, which is the Extreme Hip Hop Instructors Conference. At the Extreme Instructors Conference, I said, do not make your social media name Extreme James. Do not make your social media name Extreme Chad. I am an extreme instructor.
Yep.
The only person that is extreme is Philip Weed.
Philip Wheaton. Yep.
I will never make my name Extreme anything because that's not my brand.
Absolutely.
Extreme is a tool that is in my tool bag as a fitness and health and wellness coach that I use for my clients. But I would never make any of my social media tags someone else's brand. That's not, you're building someone else's dream at that point.
Yeah.
So, I do my 8-week brand builder boot camp, which is basically, it's the plan I should have had in place when I started all of this. But it just helps people to, one, monetize their social media and how to build their brand through social media, building your virtual business. And this doesn't just work for people in the fitness industry. This is for any business. Depending on what it is that you do, you can have a virtual presence to run your business. And ultimately how to just take your business to a brand. Because as I like to say, anybody can get an LLC and an EIN.
Yeah.
Anybody can have a business. But it takes energy and effort to turn that business into a brand. So like you said, for the longest time, you didn't know me. My name was 216 Muscle. So the world knows me as 216 Muscle. There's very few people that know me as Benny or Benjamin. And that's what I help people do, is to build that brand with just the phone in their hand.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate you sharing so much knowledge and not just knowledge, but just, kind of give us a look into your journey, what led you to where you are right now. I think we all have, stories to share. And so I appreciate, hopefully someone out there listening is motivated to make a drastic change for themselves based on hearing what they heard today. So I appreciate you being here.
Almost deaf. They can visit 216muscle.com, my brand builder boot camp. 8 weeks starts in January, that first week of January, new year, new me, all that, vision boards, boom, let's get it.
Be doing it. Thanks, Benny, for coming, man. Thank you for being a light, bro, and being a real one. It's not too many real ones out there. This fitness industry, what type of time I'm talking about. It's a lot of fake stuff out there, fake bodies, fake booties, fake everything, fake people who are perpetuating, and you've always been a real one, man, so I appreciate that. And it's very few times you can have real conversation with real men and have real conversation with men. And Benjamin is one of those guys I can call him and have a real conversation with. You know what I'm saying? And he'd be like, "Yeah, bro, this is XYZ," and he will hold you accountable too. He won't let you just be on some BS.
It'll be no fluff.
It'll be no fluff. He will hold you accountable, and I think that's what makes you a great business person and a trainer and a good brother, man. So I would encourage you, bro. Keep doing your thing, bro. 216 Muscle is major, and you're major, and we're going to keep doing it big for the 99 to 2000.
Appreciate y'all for having me. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
For sure, man. Let's get it.